G'day guys, Fitcho here, and welcome back to my MotoGP 18 career mode. Today we're here for episode number 12 and round number 5 of the Moto3 World Championship. Now first of all, I just want to apologize for the videos really dropping off over the last few days and into the next few weeks, because I'm going to Europe tomorrow. I'm recording this on Thursday, I fly out on Friday. I'm going away for 2.5 weeks, family holiday. Now I have tried to make a few videos in preparation for my trip to keep the sort of videos going while I'm away, but my life has been a little bit consumed by the 24 Hours of Le Mans on the weekend and the World Cup, a bit more than, say, I planned. So the current plan is to have one video per week going up each Saturday, so we've got 3 episodes of this career mode coming out over the next 3 weeks, so 3 weekends while I'm away, and then it'll go back to normal, but the uploads won't be as consistent as they were when this game came out. I'm aiming for sort of like 3 or 4 videos a week once I am back, but for the next 3 weeks, it'll be one video each Saturday, an episode of this career mode, and today we're here for episode 12, round 5 of the Moto3 World Championship, like I did say, and today we're heading to Le Mans, very appropriate, with the 24 Hours of Le Mans just gone last weekend. So let's head to the track.
Hi everyone from the historical Le Mans circuit. Only a few minutes to go before we see the first bikes take to the track to start the customary qualifying session. Don't be fooled by the clear skies, the track is still wet. The situation is certain to change, but only after the bikes going round the track help to dry it out.
We are here for qualifying at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, and we have a wet track ahead of us for this qualifying session, so for once, I think we're going to have to stay in this session right up till the end of the session, the full 40 minutes. Normally, we're done after the first 20 minutes in terms of finding our lap time, but with a wet track, the track is going to keep drying and drying, so we want to be out there right at the end. Let's do it. Right, I've actually decided to skip till about halfway through the session. We've got 22 minutes left here in qualifying, and the track is still looking a fair bit damp, so we'll see how these track conditions are, and hopefully by the end of the session we can try something, maybe go onto a slick tire and see how we go, but I'm not too sure how this track is going to go drying up. I haven't had a full wet track sort of qualifying session where the track is going to dry up properly yet, so I'm really not too sure how this session is going to play out. First lap on the board, and we go to second with a 1:49.1, about 2/10 off Marco Bezzecchi's current pole time, but these times are going to continue to tumble as bikes circulate and this track continues to dry up. 1:47.7, 4/10 off the new pole time set by Aaron Canet, and that is only good enough for 5th at the moment. These times are just tumbling in this session, and I might think about dry tires soon if this track continues to dry up. This has been a really good lap so far. 2 red sectors. What is the time going to be? It's not going to be pole because we lost a lot in that final sector. We got a bit caught up behind Buliga, but it's good enough for the spot on the middle of the second row of the grid there in 5th place. But with another 13 minutes to go, these times are going to keep tumbling, I am sure. This has been a stonking lap. 3, red sectors. This is MotoGP, and the time is a 1:46.5, 6/10 quicker than the previous best time, and we go to pole position with 9.5 minutes remaining in this session, but I still think those times are going to continue to tumble as this track continues to dry. We're going to have to stay out here on the circuit right until the end of this session to give us a serious chance at pole position. So we have taken pole here at Le Mans by 6/10 of a second over Jorge Martin, and then Aaron Canet joining us on the front row of the grid. I'm very surprised neither of those two actually improved their times in the last 10 minutes of the session. I would have thought with a wet track but not raining, the track would continue to improve and the times would continue to tumble towards the end of the session, but after about the 10-minute mark, no one actually went much quicker. So we have taken pole position. We're starting in the best place possible for tomorrow's race at Le Mans. Hopefully we can convert this into a race victory. It is race day here in France at the legendary Le Mans circuit for today's Moto3 race, and we are starting off pole position, the best place to be starting, but we did get that pole position on a wet track, and I'm not too confident with my dry pace. I'm not too sure where I stand in the practice session. I didn't actually go for any lap time like I normally do, just went and did the practice objectives, the bike development things, I'm forgetting what they're called. I went and did those, got all my points for that, but I didn't actually push for lap time, but I still wasn't that quick in that session, so I'm not too sure where my dry pace stands, but my wet track pace indicates that I'm quite quick around the circuit. I am starting on pole after all, so not too sure how this race is going to go, but we're starting in the best place we possibly can, so let's do it.
The French Grand Prix. The riders are spread out on the grid. The light will soon go out, and the Le Mans race will begin.
It is race time here in Le Mans. Grab the clutch, get the revs up, bike in gear, and turn that traction control off. The lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go. The French Grand Prix is underway, and it's actually been a reasonable start by my standards. Yes, we have lost out to Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet, who joined us on the front row of the grid, but by my standards that has been a decent start. The two Leopard bikes and Fabio Di Giannantonio are looking past us as well, but now down into the Dunlop chicane. Bezzecchi and Suzuki are trying to push past me, one on either side, but I come out through the middle of that sandwich back into 6th place, and now we have Fabio Di Giannantonio just in front of us as we plummet down the hill into La Chapelle. Can we look up his inside? No, we can't. Now careful on the power. It's such a tricky corner to power out of, I find. It's something I always struggle with. You just have to wait and wait and wait, and I always find I get on it a little bit too early. The bike gets pushed wide. I have to then get back out of it, and I really hurt my run. Same with this turn 7, Musée, I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but again, a similar sort of problem I do find with that corner. But it's been a reasonable start by my stands. Yes, we've lost 5. Oh, here comes Philip Erdl pushing up our inside down at Garage Vert, and I think that is Suzuki. Tatsuki Suzuki is having a look at us as well, but we hold on to that position from Suzuki. But Philip Erdl, the German, has pushed past us, but to the outside we head. Down the back straight, and now down into this right hand on the outside. Not much we can do. We push back up his inside on the curb there. A beautiful move, and we retake that 6th place. We don't really want to be fighting with these guys behind. We need to catch back up to this top 5. We don't want to lose touch in this early phase of the Grand Prix. Through the final corner we come, and up to the line to end at lap number 1 of 11 of this French Grand Prix. We've gone from pole down to 6th place, but it's not all too bad. We just need to keep in touch with this top 5 and hopefully make a couple of moves, especially keep in touch with Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet, who are out in the lead of this race because they do like to make a break for it in this Moto3 category. But we have made a right mess of that Dunlop chicane, and that is just going to hurt us quite a lot. I think we have Tatsuki Suzuki, or I can't remember, I think it's not Fabio Di Giannantonio, he's in front of us. Philip Erdl, that's who it is, right behind us as we head through La Chapelle, and that is Philip Erdl trying to look up our inside. And I said on the last lap I struggle with that corner, especially on the exit, and that is where Philip Erdl has picked our pocket. But back up the inside we go at 7. We run it in too deep. He cuts back under us. We tried to cut back under him again, but we were just a little bit too far back to make that move work. And Philip Erdl takes that 6th place, and this is not what we want. We are losing touch with that top 5 thanks to this fight with Philip Erdl. So maybe, hopefully, Philip Erdl has the pace, and we can just slot in behind him, and we can use each other with a bit of slipstream to pull each other up to that top 5. I'm not too sure. Oh, we're going to go up the inside of Philip Erdl through that chicane. I wasn't planning on making a move there, but he was going very, very slowly, and we're just going to pick his pocket back up into 6th place, and now we want to focus on catching up to Fabio Di Giannantonio, the two Leopard bikes, and then you got Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet, who already look like they're trying to make a little bit of a break for it at the front of the field. That is really not what we want right now. We have reeled in about 0.7 of a second on that lap on Fabio Di Giannantonio. It's gone from 1.5 seconds down to about 0.7. We definitely have a lot of pace here at Le Mans. My lap time was similar to the fastest lap set on the previous lap by Aaron Canet, so I think we have a serious chance of getting past Fabio Di Giannantonio, Lorenzo Della Porta, and Enea Bastianini, and getting ourselves up into a podium place. But Aaron Canet and Jorge Martin seem to have already trying to make a break for it, and my pace is similar to theirs, so I'm not sure it's going to be enough to catch up to them. Out of the final corner we come to end at lap number 5 of 11, and as you can see, we have really caught up to Fabio Di Giannantonio. Only 0.4 of a second separate us now. Only a couple more tenths to reel in before we can start mounting an attack at the Italian. And definitely through this Dunlop chicane, we do gain a lot of time. I have sent in a little bit too deep there, but still a nice run through there. We've gained a bit of time on the Italian, but La Chapelle is the corner I do struggle with, and definitely not an overtaking opportunity for us. But you can see just how close we are starting to get to this next 3 in front of us. But as you can see, Canet and Jorge Martin, they are gone. they have sent it up the road. And as you can see, that's a really weird line the AI take, and I accidentally followed it there. Coming into turn number 7, they actually use a little bit of the grass. It's very, very strange. The AI, a little bit of a problem with them there, I guess you could say. But we did actually cock up that corner a little bit, and the gap was just blown out to 0.7 of a second. It's amazing what one little mistake can do. Oh, a nice run through the Dunlop chicane up the inside of Fabio Di Giannantonio on the exit, and we take that position now up into the top 5. And now we have the 2 Leopard bikes ahead of us, Lorenzo Della Porta and Enea Bastianini. What can we do about these 2 Leopard bikes in the next handful of laps? Can we get ourselves past them and up onto the podium? Well, we're not going to be able to do that. We have Fabio Di Giannantonio putting himself back in between us and the 2 Leopard bikes, which is exactly what he has done. Can we look up his inside down into garage vert corner? No, we cannot. I will be honest, this is a corner I have been struggling with all weekend, and we have just fallen even further back by an attempting move there. So we're just going to be a little bit more careful and a bit smarter with the overtakes that we do try. Oh, a nice run out of that chicane. Can we get up the inside of Di Giannantonio down into this right-hander? Yes, turn number 11. Oh, we're getting stuck on the curb. We've got a warning there. Let's give that place back. We weren't meant to cut that corner as much as I did a little bit of a mistake. We've given that place back, so hopefully, I think if I get another warning, I actually get a ride-through penalty, which is not what we want to do in this race. We need to be a little bit more careful. But I wish that warning would actually go away, because I gave that position back. I gave back the advantage that I gained from my mistake. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. I guess that would be very difficult for a game to implement. But nonetheless, we're on to lap number 8 of 11 here in Le Mans, and we are still sitting in 6th place. In this recent fight with Di Giannantonio's meant we've dropped a little bit back off the 2 Leopard bikes in 3rd and 4th. We are right on the back of Fabio Di Giannantonio. We're just going to send it up his inside, try to bring it back to the apex. And that was a beautiful dive bomb. We've gone a little bit wide into turn number 12, fighting with that rear tire on the power. But we do make that move stick, and we are up into the top 5. And now we have a lap, 2 laps, I should say, to try to catch up and pass those 2 Leopard bikes. We did get a shocking run through that final corner as we start lap number 10 of 11. And now we have to worry about Fabio Di Giannantonio coming back at us. I don't think he's going to be close enough. I'm very strong up into the Dunlop curve and the subsequent chicane, but not if I'm going to run it in that deep. That is not what we want to do. A little bit too late on the brakes, and that's just going to hurt us, because that's one of the places where I do usually make up a lot of time. And I'd say the podium dream is over here in France, over 2 seconds up to Lorenzo Della Porta, and then probably a little bit more to Bastianini. And if we get wide through La Chapelle on the exit and Fabio Di Giannantonio comes back up our inside, the podium dream is definitely over. The best we can hope for is a top 5, and that means we're going to have to find our way back past Fabio Di Giannantonio again. We have had a nice run through that chicane. Can we try it back up the inside down into turn number 11? Yes, we can. Try to pull it back to the apex, which we do, and we make that move stick. Oh, he's given us a little hit there through turn number 12. I was about to say, is Fabs going to come back at us? And yes, he is, and he's coming back very, very aggressively into the final corner, trying to block him off. I will admit, those last 2 corners I really, really do struggle with. And you can see I had a very strange line through there, but onto the last lap we do go now. We've got Di Giannantonio just behind us, but hopefully we can hold on to this 5th position. Oh, here comes Di Giannantonio up our inside at Garage Vert. Another corner I am struggling with this weekend. He retakes that 5th position. We're almost at the end of this race. Only a handful of corners left. We've got a nice slipstream to his outside. We go down into this fast chicane. I am usually really, really quick here. I've got the inside line, and we do hold on to that 5th position with a nice toe down that back straight. Only 4 corners to go. I'm usually strong into this right-hander. I've made a couple moves here on the last few laps. He doesn't come back at us into turn 12. I have always given us a proper hit into turn 12. I was about to say, I do struggle with turn 12 quite a lot. The race is over. Aaron Canet has won, and we have 1 corner left. Oh, he's trying to give us a hit up into that final corner, but we managed to stay upright on the bike, hold on to 5th position as we cross the line. A very aggressive last-ditch attempt there from Fabio Di Giannantonio, but it just wasn't quite enough there.
While the riders complete their victory lap, let's take a look at the final ranking of the Moto3 race.
So there are the final race results. Aaron Canet has won from Jorge Martin, with Enea Bastianini joining him on the podium. Lorenzo Della Porta came home in 4th place, and you got myself in 5th, just beating out Fabio Di Giannantonio there in a very, very interesting fight. And just looking at the fastest laps of the race, Aaron Canet and Jorge Martin both on a 1:42.3, and then also myself on a 1:42.3, whereas the people we were fighting, the two Leopards in front of us, and Fabio Di Giannantonio, 42.7. So I definitely had pace in today's race, but unfortunately not the best start. Caught up in a bit of a fight there with Fabio Di Giannantonio, and we just couldn't capitalize on that pace that we did have today, which is unfortunate, but that's how racing goes sometime. And I will just say, I was just thinking about it towards the end of that race, I haven't experienced any of that proper sort of pack battling you do usually see in Moto3 on this game. Every race has sort of really been strung out with the riders, no sort of real big battle packs going on with lots of slipstreams, lots of overtakes, and just bikes absolutely everywhere, which is a little bit disappointing. But we do head to Mugello next time out, so maybe that will change, of course. That's what you expect when you head to Mugello, that proper sort of pack racing, and then Barcelona after that as well. So we'll have to wait and see, but I have been a little bit disappointed that we haven't had that so far. Now, in the Riders' Championship, Aaron Canet has taken the lead again, and Jorge Martin and Canet are level on points yet again with 106. These two are just in a league of their own at the front of the field. They're just getting first and seconds every week, I swear, going back and forth, and that means they're equal on points right now with 106. Then you got Enea Bastianini, 36 points back in 3rd place. His teammate Lorenzo Della Porta a little bit further behind him, 6 points back. Then myself sitting there in 5th place. We've jumped back up ahead on Fabio Di Giannantonio in the championship, and in fact, me and Fabs are actually tied on points for 5th place, so a very interesting battle out on track, and that is also a very interesting battle in the championship between myself and Fabio Di Giannantonio, and these are the top 6 at least, in the riders' standings actually match the race results in today's French Grand Prix. So in terms of reputation, with a pole position and a very interesting fight that I'm sure would have got a fair bit of TV coverage, 1,191 reputation, 10,000 development points, and our attributes are all level 51 at the moment. We've achieved both of the objectives. Our qualifying objective was actually 1st place. That surprises me, whereas our race objective was 13th, so I'm not too sure what the team thinks of us. Clearly our qualifying pace is better than our race pace, but those objectives are very, very different. But our team trust is somewhere between dismissal and first rider now, so we're definitely starting to move towards first rider, which is exactly what we want. We have been absolutely cleaning the floor in the teammate battle, and hopefully we'll get that first rider status very soon. So before we end today's episode, we need to check the bike development. We have 17,000 development points at our disposal. So last time we did look at the engine, so I think this time let's have a quick look at the brakes and see what we can do. So let's just go level 2 on both modularity and aggression. So yes, we want to do that. Both these are about 5,000 or just under. So we still have 8,000 points at our disposal, so we can upgrade something else as well. So I guess let's have a look at the suspension. We've got hydraulics and elasticity. It doesn't really give me a proper... this option improves the bike's ability to absorb the shocks of the surface. This improves the bike's stability. So I guess we improve stability, I guess is what we want to do. It doesn't give me a huge in-depth on what these do, but stability sounds good. So let's go with that upgrade. As you can see, I don't know bikes all that well, understand how they all work. I'm definitely more into cars in that regard, but I'm definitely trying to learn bikes a fair bit, and this bike development should hopefully help me learn them a little bit more. Next time out, we head to Mugello, I do believe. Let me double check the calendar, and yes, we are heading to Mugello, one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Mugello always provides a good race, and I am looking forward to that. Now, like I did say at the start of the episode, I'm going on holiday for the next 2.5 weeks, so I've only managed to make 3 videos in sort of anticipation of this holiday, because I've been a bit too addicted to the World Cup and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. They've consumed my life quite a lot. So this is going up this Saturday at 7 PM, so the next episode will be going up in exactly 7 days' time, 1 week, next Saturday, and then the 3rd episode will go up, well, 3rd of this trip while I'm away will go up on the final weekend that I am away, and they'll go up on Saturday as well. I do apologize for the sudden reduction in videos in this series, but like I said, I haven't quite managed to get as much as I hoped I would done. But I'm still trying to keep some sort of consistency to the upload schedule, so once a week, every Saturday, 3 episodes of this coming over the next 3 weeks, then I'm back home and things will go back to normal. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you do leave a like. Of course, if you guys are new, subscribe for much more MotoGP 18 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.